To switch gears once again, Teresa Collette, if you'd be the first to answer this next question. What changes would you like to see made to our current education policies? And please address the role the federal government should play in preparing our youth to compete on a world stage.
It is. We had tremendous success in the past with using block grants to spur innovation for the states, competition, and how best to help care for the needy. I believe that the federal mandates, to the extent that they exist, should allow for individual states' creativity, and that we should go to a similar system so that when a state gets federal funding, they can use it for any lawful purpose under that. That will reinforce the fact that our schools should be locally controlled and that the state is the primary place where educational policy should be made, not the federal government. I believe that that innovation, let 1,000 flowers bloom, and what we'll see is the growth of wonderful university programs like we have here in Minnesota. But it's the stifling mandate and overregulation of education that's coming out of the federal government that is causing our students to fail in the race to success against other nations.
Thank you. Steve Carlson, if you'd be the next to address that same question, what changes would you like to see made to our current education policies, and please address the role that the federal government should play in preparing our youth to compete on a world stage?
You know, I was looking at the Constitution on Constitution Day, and I saw that it says that the federal government shall promote science and technology. And I thought, this is something you don't hear very often. Wow, how do they do it? They do it through patents and copyrights of writings and discoveries. But it shows that we clearly put science in a very strong position, and we should focus on that. What I would like to do is to cut back the Department of Education. I'd like to get them out of the student loan program. Frankly, I look to them as a place where we can have a lot of savings. And then I want to put the work back to the state of Minnesota. We've had vouchers. Rudy Perpich had great ideas with school choice, and we were really a leader, charter schools, and we can go back and do that. That can create jobs for teachers. They don't need to get in unions to do that. There's going to be a lot of educational activity. We've got to move onto the internet. We've got to have programs that are available to everybody in science and math that have the greatest scientists and educators putting those together that people will use their whole life. That's what I like to do.
Thank you. Betty McCollum, if you'd be the next to answer the question, what changes, if any, would you like to see made to current education policies? Please address the role that the federal government should play in preparing our youth to compete on a world stage.
Public education, a strong public education system is critical in us being able to compete regionally, nationally, and internationally. That's where our workforce gets its strong foundation, whether it's preparing children early, enforcing parents with the help that they need in order for their children to succeed in grade school, and then to have accessibility to trade schools and to college for our students. If we do that, our nation grows strong. That's the crux of public education. That's what has made us the strongest, most vibrant country in the world. But when I hear just blanket statements, so maybe in a rebuttal someone could answer this, that we should repeal all regulations. It harkens back to me of the days when I was in South St. Paul High School. There was a lovely teacher. His name was Mr. Wasco. But all children, whether it was a physical disability, a mental disability, or a learning disability, were all put in one classroom away. Now, I believe the federal government should pay for its obligation in special education, but I would never repeal it.
Thank you. Teresa Collette has indicated an interest in a 30-second rebuttal.
I don't think anyone said we should repeal all regulation, but I certainly think, for example, the IDEA plan, which is the special education program from the federal government, should follow the student and should be able to go into charter schools and into private schools. The fact is that private schools do a better job educating inner city kids than public schools, as has been shown again and again by studies out of the University of Chicago. But there is a role to ensure that every child gets educated. In this case, I'm relying on the creativity and the will of the parents at the local level to make sure that happens.
Thank you. Steve Carlson has indicated an interest in offering a 30-second rebuttal.
I think the best...
Good.
Okay, I think the best two schools that I ever got a chance to go to are the ones that I'm auditing now at St. Thomas. And then I got a scholarship to Minnehaha Academy. Now, these are religious schools. And I think we got to take a look at this. We've got to look at giving kids a chance to go to these schools. The Catholic Church, they're shutting down a lot of their schools. These are good schools. And they can train people in the right values. So I would look at ways that we could encourage people like that to participate in giving an education.
Thank you.